Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure that that you find, same as me here in the borders, that your local car dealers, they need a good reputation. They need to do a good job. The mechanics need to be good. They need to build up a good rapport with their customers. They need to be trustworthy. And then you get on fine with them and you recommend them to other people, whereas the ones that are dodgy, you soon find out if the mechanics aren't good, if they are unscrupulous, you soon find out, and they don't last very long. And you know, it makes me think, and let me know if you agree with me, you know, why should anyone listen to anything that Ken Kratz has to offer? For me, and I'm sure most of you feel the same, his right to tell us what he thinks has been revoked. He has no right to tell anybody what he thinks about things. He is just such a manipulative, evil person that he lost the right to tell decent, law-abiding people what to do a long, long time ago. We are not even halfway through looking at his sexting career. Now, I hope enjoy would be the wrong word. I'm going to say I hope you've enjoyed reading these or going through these department reports. But no, enjoy is the wrong word. We sort of shake our head in disbelief that anybody with that trusted position could begin to behave the way that he did. But not just to one person, but to all these people. It just beggars belief. As I say, I'm not even halfway through. This is going to be victim, CI, confidential informant. This is going to be number 8. And if you want to check up, it's on the Convoluted Brian website. It's the DOJ report number 3, starting at page 7. You'll get the report from the DCI and the letter that she wrote to Jim Doyle. As I say, we're not even halfway through, but what I am particularly looking forward to is the looking at how Ken Kratz's fall from grace completely unmasks him. What we've got to look forward to is what his fellow professionals think of him. There's an old saying, isn't there? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Anyway, let's move on and have a look at confidential informant victim number 8. We've already had one confidential informant. Here's another one. Victim number 9 is the one that a lot of people have pointed out to me, but for me, that they all need to go. We need to go through all of them. As I say, victim number 8 wrote to Jim Doyle in September of 2010 because in July of 2010 she had an appointment with Ken Kratz with her 17-year-old daughter prior to a preliminary hearing. She attended, her and her daughter, along with a victim advocate from another county we don't get to hear, but she was also equally shocked at what Ken Kratz was asking. The case the case was basically the state of Wisconsin versus a registered sex offender who had been engaging in sex with the daughter. The 17-year-old daughter. And the crux of the matter is the fact that, well, first of all, Ken Kratz took great delight in asking the most incredibly inappropriate questions. Questions that he was clearly exciting himself about. He asked her, would you take off your clothes before sex? Clearly he's imagining some sort of striptease routine. He then asks, do you know what ejaculate means? And, you know, would he ejaculate in or out? He then went on to ask, how long would it last? You get the sense that Ken Kratz doesn't just like talking about it, but he loves hearing about it as well. He then, bizarrely, goes on to the subject of other sex acts, in other words, fellatio and cunnilingus. But to top it all, later on in the meeting, he asks for the daughter's mobile phone number. She's 17, quite clearly. He is going to wait until she's 18, not long to go, before she's 18, and then he can get in touch. Absolutely abhorrent. We hear that she also, that Ken Kratz spoke to her at the preliminary hearing. This letter was sent when the secondary hearing was still to be held. This is right in the middle of this state of Wisconsin versus this registered sex offender. I've put in brackets, not Ken Kratz, because really he should be the registered sex offender. But he'd actually left the girl in tears by saying to her that she should watch her attitude, because she was more afraid. She wasn't afraid of facing the person that had basically attacked her. It was the questions that Ken Kratz was going to ask her. That's what she was afraid of. Just a sick, depraved mind. Ken Kratz would have us believe that there were mitigating circumstances, as we're going to discover later on. No, just rubbish. No mitigating circumstances. The simple fact is, Ken Kratz is a pervert. It's in his character. It's in his makeup. It's in his DNA. You know the rest? It's in his sweaty DNA. Bye for now. Catch you again soon.